everybody. I'm Cassidy, one of your Indianapolis Colts cheerleaders, and you're watching the Believe in Colts podcast.
What's going on, Colts Nation? I'm Lawrence Owen. With me, as usual, is my guy, Rodney McLeod, and we're here to talk about the last game of the year, the Indianapolis Colts hosting the Houston Texans, where they started off in a hole right off the bat. You know, there was some turnovers in the first first half, technically, by the Indianapolis Colts offense. They started off 10-0 in the hole against the Texans and had to fight back. And the guy with me today obviously was part of that clawing back. He actually had himself a heck of a game, was tied with two other people on the team in tackles, and had his first career pick six. Rodney, what's up with that, man?
Yeah, man, it's bittersweet, of course. Happy that I was able to come away with an interception, man. Pick six, first of the career, like you said. That's a huge moment in my career, and grateful that it took place. But then it was quickly overshadowed by the dramatic finish at the end, as you know, unfortunately, we come up short once again. And it just, man, you just, for a lot of us players, it just really feels like a dream. Like this is a movie. Like, why every single time it's so dramatic in the way we win or lose games this year. And but at the end of the day, just really appreciate all my teammates for battling, back, man. A hard-fought game on both sides of the football. And, it shows the level of care that everybody has, regardless of, what the season looked like before the last game. Dudes, left it all out on the field, and that's all you can ever ask for, man. And just, you got to just hang your hat on everything else in between. It doesn't always work out the way that you want. The outcome isn't always there, but you can appreciate and everybody for the level of effort in the fight behind that team. So came up short, but I appreciate everybody for that, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. And yourself, myself, Gerard, we've talked all season, because the Indianapolis Colts have had a rough year from the get-go. For the last 8 weeks, we've discussed how, there is no such thing as tanking when it comes to coaches and players.
Yeah.
And this last game, week 18, is a prime example of that in the fact that, this is, when it comes to standings wise, was a meaningless game, right? It was a meaningless game, but there was pride on the line. And if there was tanking involved, where players would tank or coaches would tank, the Houston Texans wouldn't have put up a fight because they won and lost the first overall pick of the draft,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
that's definitely proof that there is really no such thing as tanking in the NFL when it comes to players and coaches.
No, that's real. And, I think everybody has a level of pride about themselves, players and coaches and organizations as a whole. And you definitely would like to finish the year off on the right foot. And that's winning. And that's all we talked about collectively as a team. Saturday preached that from the moment that the week kicked off, is that despite everything that's happened, man, like, we have the ability to, go out with a win. And how good would that feel? And, you carry that into the off season and you build off of that. But, you like I said, we came up short, but there is still a lot that you can build off of. And it shows character alone from everybody in the way that, we battled back. It wasn't the way that we wanted to start the game. Of course, they got off to a real good start, but you saw the fight, you saw the push. And so that is still something to build off of as we go into this offseason.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL to bowl season to esports. You'll always find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive your 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. Make sure to use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to receive your rewards. BetOnline, where the game starts. There is a couple plays I would love breakdowns from you that happened in this game. Obviously, the pick six. I'm pretty sure you liked the tweet where, I clipped it where I actually predicted your interception. I didn't predict the pick six, but I predicted your interception on the play, and I was like, are you kidding me? Wow.
Yeah.
But my question is, like, you were sitting there and it looked like you were reading the play, like you saw the play the whole time and jumped that route. Could you take us through that play and what was going through your mind in the whole situation?
Yeah, so come out, they line up. It's 3rd and 9, I believe, and throughout the week we know that they're a heavy stickers team, and what that means is all receivers or tight ends are going to just pretty much run hitches to the sticks. You know what I'm saying? Just enough for the first down, give you the illusion that it could be some sort of seam or vertical route, but then they just sit it down at the sticks. So I alerted the defense, Rod T, JB, and Zaire, guys who were underneath defenders who all kind of had an opportunity to be able to, make a play. And in that situation, I also was one of those guys based on the coverage that we were in. I was actually playing, middle runner. And so I was able to kind of bait the quarterback up and throwing the ball. What's funny is, me and Gilly talked about this earlier in the week and how I should play that route or play those sorts of plays. And I'm like, bro, every time this year I've gotten the opportunity to bait the quarterback and throwing it, they never throw it and give me an opportunity at picking it. I always get a pass breakup. And so, man, he finally just threw the ball right on point, gave me a chance to make a play, broke on it. I'm like, man, just please don't drop this. That's one thing that you can't do is drop that in that moment. And man, the rest was history. I actually got ahead of myself because I'm running and I'm like, yeah, this is an easy touchdown. And I look up and I see, David Mills right there. I'm like, what is he doing? And I'm like, at this point, I'm like, man, do I cut back? Do I give him a little move? I said, no, I'm just going to head to the pylon. That probably should be good enough. And some of my offensive or high school receiver skills came out, stretched across for that pylon. Yeah, man, then started the celebration.
Absolutely. Speaking of the celebration, there was a lot of that after the touchdown. You did something that maybe was missed by a lot of people who were celebrating the fact that you had a pick six and wasn't watching the screen. But there was a little bit of a nod to Damar in there, wasn't there not?
That was on the Rodney Thomas interception.
Yeah.
So after he picked the ball off, he immediately went to the 3 that was outlined in red, across the league, and just gave his respects to him.
Awesome.
As that's his big bro right there. And so a lot of us just joined in with him and supporting him. But yeah, Rod T, clearly a tough week for him, but went out there and put it on the line for his brother.
Absolutely. That's awesome. High school teammate, if I remember right.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So glad that he was able to actually have a good game as well. Speaking of Rod T, he's really came on this season, as a rookie. A lot of high aspirations now for the young man. What have you seen growth from him this year?
Yeah, just playmaking ability over time. You see comfortability. When he first coming in as a rookie, you're just trying to figure it out. But steadily as the year went on, you can tell that he really took coaching and applied it. and it showed week to week. Started from OTAs to training camp, and of course into the season, and him being able to get his opportunity versus probably one of the best quarterbacks to play the game right now, and that's Patrick Mahomes. And he stood up. He stood strong. He made a huge pass breakup in that game, right? So that was just his introduction to us all and what he was capable of doing. And you mix that with confidence, with a little bit of experience, and then good coaching, and somebody who's dedicated and a hard worker. You're going to get those results that Rodney had this year. And what he did for us as a rookie stands out, and all of us, take notice of his ability and skill set to play this game. And so he led the team in picks, right? Like as a rook, that is hard to do, man. But you got to just give your props to him for coming in and making the most of his opportunity.
There was a play, however, near the end of the game that, if memory serves me right, you and him both ran on it. I think you had backside coverage, right, on the touchdown pass.
Yeah.
Could you take us through that play and what happened? I know that you're not Rodney Thomas, and can't give me exactly what happened in his eyes, but
yeah,
there was definitely some kind of misjudgment in that situation that happened.
Yeah, so from my point of view, it's 4th and 20. It's about to, we're about to win this game, and pretty much they come out and it seems like they go empty. They go 5 wide, and so they just run all verticals. And I ended up actually on the tight end, based on my responsibility. So I'm on the tight end. I see that, it's a scramble drill, of course. Everybody's moving around. So first thing, we're coached to do is make contact, with your guy. In that sense, it rarely called pass interference unless it's super egregious. So I'm there to potentially prevent him from scoring at the end of the day. And so I just want to make sure I'm close to him. And in that moment, he's now kind of coming back to the ball. I have a feeling that the ball was released. At that point, I'm not looking back at the quarterback, but I can tell by his demeanor that now, okay, the ball is up in the air. And, you just have like a sixth sense. So I look up and I'm like, oh, wow, the ball is like right near us. And so at that point, I just see Rodney flash out of nowhere. And I saw both his hands go up and the ball literally like right there. And instantly I just kind of stopped to I'm like, oh yeah, he's securing this. He's going for the pick and it's going to be game over. And the instant I do that is the same time the ball comes through, 88 just kind of darts, make a quick move towards Rodney, and by the grace of God, man, like he's there to make the catch. I've never seen anything like that. Normally you can look and you'll say, oh man, the receiver just elevated, made a great catch over like a couple defenders, but it's rare that you see it go straight through Rodney's hand because I'm right there behind him and it lands into the hands of the offensive player for the touchdown. And for him to have the focus and the level of concentration to catch that ball was impressive too, man. So, I did that's all. That's exactly how I felt after. It was just size. Like, why? Like, have we not endured enough struggle for the year that it has to end this way?
We've had such crazy endings to games this season. It is unbelievable. Between the 33-point fourth quarter against Dallas, what happened with the that big lead we had against the Vikings, and then multiple other games where we had the game until the very last play. Where one of them, Stephon, the one time Stephon wasn't able to make a play, at the last play of the game. There was different situations. It was just a bad bad year. All the breaks seem to go away from the Indianapolis Colts this year rather than forward. Do you kind of look at it like that? Like, sometimes, the breaks happen for you, sometimes they don't, or do you make your own breaks? Do you feel like, that's something that you're supposed to do, not really look at it as a luck thing?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both, to be honest. And, there's several times throughout the course of a game where I felt we've had the ability to end the game, whether it's defensively or offensively, like seal the game. And I think it comes down to, situational ball for us in those moments. We haven't done the things that we've needed to do and execute at the level that's required, in this league to win games, because the margin of error is so small. Every team, despite record, is or good. We're in the league for a reason, man. You prepare hard. Coaches put a lot into it, players put a lot into it. And so when you go out there on Sundays, it's rare that you see, 20-point blowouts. Like, they're tight games going on. No matter what what Vegas said about that game, like it's coming down to a few possessions, and it's very critical. And there's so many people that play a role in that. It's 11 guys doing their job consistently, and that's what it takes to win. So, like, when you look back on our season and you look at the schedule, and you'll see there are plenty of games that, man, if we did what we needed to do, if we won a few more, we would be talking about who we're playing next week. But that's a lot of teams from year to year. You can look back probably maybe at the Detroit Lions, to be an example, right? Some of their games last year may have been very close, but they have now found a way to, make that switch. And that's what you want to see. You want to see those teams who, man, wow, like they were 4-12, but it could be misrepresented. Like, if you look back and say, man, this team is tough, they just didn't find a way to finish games, those close games. It didn't go their way. But this year they made that change, and you see them now having a winning record. So it's a mixture of both. Got to have a little bit of luck on your side too, for especially moments like Sunday. That's just like, oh my, football gods, why? Come on.
Yeah, what you're saying about finding a way at the end of the game. I mean, nothing says that more than, like you said, the Green Bay Packer Detroit Lion game that happened. That was end of the game. They made a play and ended up winning. And for them, it ended up being meaningless too. I mean, they didn't even make the dance. That they had a shot, but then Seattle. Yeah. But Saturday was asked yesterday in his end of season press conference, where he felt the team was, and he said very similar to you. It's not far off as you guys think. We're not as far off as you guys think, Yeah. So, and I 100% believe that. Speaking of being not far off, I feel like the Indianapolis Colts defense this year, personnel wise, players, coaches, all that, and the performance on the field overall was very, very, very good. I feel like they could have been easily a top 5 defense. You guys could have easily been a top 5 defense overall in the NFL, had maybe the offense played a little bit better and gave you guys a little bit more time off the field. You know what I mean? But give me your breakdown of the defense for the Indianapolis Colts this year, how you felt about it overall, player wise, coaching wise, and what you thought of that compared to other defenses you've been a part of in your past.
Yeah, I think for us this year, we were definitely put in a lot of tough situations. But what I know about this group is we love a challenge. We love to be in that position, and we understand what our role is, on the team. Like, we are naturally the tone setters. for our team. And so we take a great deal of pride in that. And I think we did have a real good showing, especially, the first 8-9 weeks of the season. As we kind of went down the stretch a little bit, things started to, I would say like slip, but just we weren't, necessarily performing like ourselves. But that happens, right? Like, you play in this league, you play a lot of great offense, which we did this year. That is bound to happen, right? You're not going to hold everybody to the 14 points or 10 points like we were, doing early on. You hope that happens, but the reality isn't so. But I think overall, man, I'm just most proud of the way that we, like I said, we fought, we battled, we stayed together. And I think that's the important piece that you always look back on within any season, but more importantly, when you have a season of such difficulty. And, it's easy to go astray and sink the ship and play for self. But there's so many selfless guys that I can point to in that defensive room that honestly all we want to do is win and do whatever it takes to win for our team. And, guys put their bodies on the line, prepare hard, man, play with a great deal of passion. And that's all you can ask for. And so I'm grateful to be able to, line up with so many of those guys, man, who made me better all around, to be honest with you, and push me to my limitations and demanded the most out of me, solely just because of what they brought to the table, their performances. And you just feel like like this guy's making a play. This dude's going to be here. I have to raise my level, right? I have to raise my standards or competitiveness or whatever it is, man. Like that's what type of group we have, just because there are so many guys on the team who have abilities to make plays. And it's a good group. We'll see what happens next year. But all in all, man, much respect for this Colts defense and what we were able to put out there for the world to see this year.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's going to do it for our game breakdown for the Indianapolis Colts Week 18 matchup against the Houston Texans. Again, this was Believe in Colts, brought to you by Bet Online. I'm Lawrence Owen. That's Rodney McLeod. And until next time, as usual, go Colts.
Do you believe?